So we start here today with the clock configuration. The next step to configure this last portion. So we have seen that we have to first configure this part, and then when this is enabled, this clock is enabled, then we can configure this part, and then when we get clock here, then we can configure this part here. So to configure this part, we can configure these dividers and then these two registers. So we can see here in this part we have configured this one with 8 megahertz, the first part, which is this one here, and then we have configured here this part, and this is this part here, and now this and this part. So now we have to configure this part, and this part is actually this part with these dividers and then these registers. So we can see these registers. This is the first configuration. This is the RCCR register. So we can see that this is this one here, CSCS. So we select this one, so that we can select the PLL clock. So this is the 6. So we have selected here 6, and then we can select the dividers. So if we select 1 here, then it will divide by 2, so we will get 80 megahertz. So we will get here with this one, we get 80 megahertz in this area. If we divide this one again by, this is 1 taken as 1, so it will be divided by 2, so we will get this as this bus as 40 megahertz. And when we do this one, this is taken as 2, so this will be divided by 3, so this clock will be further divided by 3, and then we will get this one. So this clock actually here divided by this 3, and we will get this flash clock. So this is actually the portion, this is the normal run mode, where we take this one as clock and then these dividers, and then we configure the clock in this area. So at the end we check these values. At the end we stop here and see whether the which clock is configured. So this we can see here, this is this register here. So we, when we see the 6, this 6 value, then we can see there's the system clock, which source is used for the system clock. So this is what here is, it is done here. It is there is a mask, and then this is a register, and then to see this 6, we have shifted it 24 times to compare it with 6, and then we get the value, this one, because these are 24 to 27 number bits. So we have to shift and then see this 6. So actually, so this is then the configuration. If we use 160 megahertz here, for example, then we get 80 megahertz as core clock, 40 as bus clock, and then flash clock, this one, if we use these dividers. So we can see here will be 80 megahertz, 40 megahertz, and then 26.6. something here for the flash clock. So this is the configuration of this part. So you can see the registers here. For example, this is the SCS register, this RCR register which I have shown here. So you can see these are the dividers. So when we select 1, it is divided by 2, and here when we select uh, 2, so this is divided by 3. So something like this one here, it is also 2. So we get uh, different clocks. This one here, it is divided by 3, this clock. So we get this flash clock. Now we can see this in this code also, which is generated by the processor expert. So here we can see this portion clock configuration mode and the configuration, and then here see this RCCR configuration. Here it is. Here we can see that this fast IRC clock is selected with 3. So we can see that if we select here in this bit as 3, then we get this path, and this is 3. So we get then this clock. If you want the other clock, you can change it here. We can go upwards. So we go and we go here. So we can select here the clocks. We can use this one 6, and then we will get this SPLL clock. So these are also the dividers, the same dividers, divide by 1, divide by 2, and then here it is divided by again 2. So this is another configuration. If you use here PLL, then you can use these dividers just like in this file here. So you can use this 1 2 1 1 2. So we will get the same clocks here. So we can place these things here, and then we will get the required clocks. We can do this manually. We don't need to press every time this button. We can take this file and then do these corrections here. So similarly, so this is all about the normal mode.